A strong woman looks a challenge in the eye and gives it a wink. Gina Carey. Some women follow the crowd, others lead it. And then there are Sigma females, the ones who don't follow, don't lead, but move entirely on their own terms. If you've ever felt like you don't fit into the usual categories of social life, if you find yourself valuing solitude over shallow connections, thinking 10 steps ahead and refusing to be controlled, congratulations. You're not broken. You're a Sigma female. Society doesn't make it easy for women like you. It tells you to be softer, more agreeable, easier to understand. But deep down, you know the truth. The moment you compromise who you are, you lose everything that makes you powerful. The world respects the loud ones, but it fears the quiet ones. Why? Because silence, when used correctly, is a weapon. Because a woman who needs no validation is impossible to control. Because a Sigma female's greatest strength isn't just what she does, it's what she chooses not to do. If you're tired of people misunderstanding your independence, if you've ever felt like your intelligence and instincts set you apart, then you're exactly where you need to be. This isn't just about habits, it's about mastering the mindset that makes you unstoppable. Watch this video till the end, because these habits aren't just things to practice, they're a way of life. Let's get started the rare gems. Number 1. She never lets anyone be her sole source of anything. Most people make the mistake of putting all their trust, money, or emotions into one person or thing. A Sigma female never does this. She knows that dependence is the fastest way to lose power, and she refuses to be in a position where losing one thing could break her. Think about it. How many people fall apart when a relationship ends? When a job fires them? When a friend betrays them? That happens because they built their entire emotional or financial foundation on a single pillar. Sigma females build fortresses, not fragile houses. She never lets one person be her entire emotional support system. Not a boyfriend, not a best friend, not even family. Why? Because people are unpredictable. One wrong move and suddenly the person she depended on isn't there. So she spreads her emotional energy wisely, having a strong inner world, multiple meaningful connections, and most importantly, the ability to self-soothe. Financially, she plays the same game. One source of income, that's a risk. She looks for ways to diversify her money, whether through skills, investments, side hustles, or simply knowing she can walk away from a job if needed. No employer owns her, and no paycheck is her only lifeline. And when it comes to opportunities, she never waits for someone to open a door for her. If one closes, she's already built 3 more exits. She never begs, she never waits, she creates. This mindset makes her unshakable. While others scramble when life throws curveballs, she moves with confidence because she was never relying on just one thing to begin with. This isn't paranoia, it's wisdom. And if you want to be unstoppable, take this lesson to heart. Never let anyone or anything be your only source of survival. Number 2, she keeps her money flowing, not stagnant. Most people treat money like a static object. They earn it, save a little, spend a lot, and hope for the best. A Sigma female? She treats money like energy. It needs to move, grow, and multiply. She doesn't just hold money, she strategizes with it. She understands one cold truth. Whoever controls your money controls you, and she refuses to be controlled. That's why she never depends on just one income stream. A single job, too risky. A single source of savings, not enough. She spreads her money like a chess player positioning her pieces, always thinking ahead, always ready to move. When she earns, she doesn't just let it sit in a bank collecting dust. She reinvests in skills and assets, in opportunities that expand her independence. She knows that money sitting still is money losing value. Inflation eats away at savings. A stagnant career limits growth, so she keeps it flowing, building, diversifying, creating safety nets most people never think about. She also knows money is power, not because of what it can buy, but because of the freedom it brings. When you're financially independent, you don't have to tolerate toxic bosses, controlling partners, or manipulative friends. You can walk away from anything that doesn't serve you, and that makes you untouchable. This is why she never stops learning about finances. She studies investments, business, and multiple income streams, not because she's obsessed with wealth, but because she's obsessed with freedom. If you want to be truly unstoppable, treat money like a tool, not a trophy. Move it, grow it, and most importantly, never let anyone else control it. Number 3. She creates escape routes for everything. Most people live in cages they built for themselves. They stay in toxic relationships because they have no backup plan. They endure miserable jobs because they can't afford to leave. They commit to things that drain them, all because they never thought about an exit strategy. A Sigma female. She refuses to be trapped. She creates silent escape routes for everything: her job, her finances, her relationships, and even her living situation. And the best part? No one sees it coming. At work, she never relies on a single paycheck. While others get comfortable, she's learning new skills, networking, and setting up side incomes. If her job ever turns toxic, she doesn't panic, she walks. No desperate scrambling, no begging to stay, just a quiet exit already planned. In relationships, she never lets her happiness depend on one person. If a partner becomes controlling, she doesn't waste time hoping they'll change. She's already mentally detached before they even realize it. By the time they sense something's off, she's emotionally gone. Even in friendships and commitments, she never lets guilt trap her. If something no longer serves her, she distances herself, smoothly, silently, and without drama. And physically, she's just as strategic. She doesn't live paycheck to paycheck in a place she hates. She has savings, resources, and options, so if she ever needs to leave, she can. This is why people never see her fall apart. While others break down when life shifts unexpectedly, she just pivots, because she was never relying on one thing to begin with. If you want to be unstoppable, never let yourself be backed into a corner. Always have an exit, always have a plan, and when the time comes to leave, make sure no one sees it coming. Number 4. She knows that no one is coming to save her. Most people wait. They wait for the right opportunity, the right person, the right moment to change their lives. They tell themselves that help is coming, that someone will see their struggle and step in. A Sigma female? She doesn't have that illusion. She knows, deep in her core, that no one is coming to save her. No one is going to swoop in and hand her success. No one is going to magically fix her problems. No one is going to fight her battles for her, so she does it herself, period. When life gets tough, she doesn't break down and wait for sympathy. She finds solutions. When doors don't open, she doesn't stand outside knocking. She builds her own path. When people disappoint her, she doesn't wallow in self-pity. She moves forward, stronger and wiser. This mindset makes her dangerous, because while others sit around hoping for rescue, she's already 10 steps ahead, making things happen for herself. She doesn't rely on favors. She doesn't depend on validation. She doesn't need a safety net. She is her own safety net. And this terrifies people, especially those who expect her to need them. They want her to be dependent, to seek approval, to ask for permission, but she never does. Because she understands one thing that most people don't. Self-reliance is freedom. The moment you stop expecting someone else to save you, you become unstoppable. If you want to be truly powerful, stop waiting. Take control. Make your own way, because at the end of the day, the only person who will always have your back is you. Number 5. She doesn't try to win every battle, she chooses her war. Most people fight every battle that comes their way. They argue over small things, waste energy proving themselves, and let their emotions dictate their responses. A Sigma female? She plays the long game. She doesn't waste time on meaningless fights. She knows that winning every battle is pointless if it drains you before the real war begins. So she lets the petty things slide. The passive-aggressive comments, the ego-driven debates, the attention-seeking provocations. She doesn't bite. People mistake this for weakness. They assume she's avoiding conflict or backing down. But what they don't realize is she's observing, calculating, and saving her energy for battles that actually matter. She won't argue with someone just to prove she's right. She'll let them believe whatever they want. She won't waste time defending herself against petty accusations. She knows the truth will reveal itself eventually. She won't react just because someone wants a reaction, because she knows reactions give people power. Instead, she moves strategically. She picks her battles based on outcomes, not emotions. If something threatens her freedom, her values, or her long-term goals, she will fight with everything she has. But if it's just noise, she walks away, completely unfazed. And this drives people crazy. They want her to engage. They want to pull her into pointless conflicts. But she refuses to be a pawn in someone else's game, because she knows the truth. You don't have to fight every battle to win the war. If you want to be unstoppable, stop wasting energy on battles that don't matter. Choose your war, and when the time comes, strike with precision. Number 6. She learns how to be dangerous. Most people think being nice will protect them. They assume that if they avoid conflict, play it safe, and stay out of trouble, they'll be fine. A Sigma female, she knows better. She doesn't rely on the world to be kind. She doesn't assume that people have good intentions. Instead, she makes sure she can handle herself, no matter what. But let's be clear, she's not reckless, she's dangerous. And there's a huge difference. Reckless people act without thinking. They jump into fights they can't win. They react emotionally and make decisions that backfire. A Sigma female, she moves with precision. She's not looking for trouble, but if trouble finds her, she's ready. She sharpens her mind. She studies psychology, power dynamics, and manipulation tactics so no one can play her. She knows when someone is trying to control her, deceive her, or take advantage, and she shuts it down before they even realize what happened. She strengthens her body. Whether it's self-defense, fitness, or just carrying herself with quiet confidence, she makes sure no one sees her as an easy target. And most importantly, she controls her emotions. She doesn't let fear dictate her actions. She doesn't panic under pressure. She remains calm, collected, and strategic, even when things go south. This makes her intimidating, not because she's loud, but because she's unshakable. People can sense it. They know she's not someone to mess with. Not because she threatens anyone, but because she doesn't need to. Her presence alone is enough. If you want to be truly unstoppable, don't just be good. Be dangerous. Not in a reckless way, but in a way that ensures you're never powerless. Number 7. She never lets the world change her core. The world is full of people who let life harden them. They start off with good intentions, but after enough betrayal, disappointment, and struggle, they become bitter, distrustful, closed off. But a Sigma female? She refuses to let that happen. No matter how much darkness she faces, she never lets it corrupt her. She may adapt, she may grow sharper, but her core remains untouchable. This doesn't mean she's naive, far from it. She sees the world exactly as it is. She knows people lie. She knows betrayal can come from the ones closest to her. She knows life isn't fair, but instead of letting that poison her, she uses it to refine her strength. She doesn't become bitter, she becomes wiser. She doesn't become cold, she becomes selective. She doesn't lose faith, she simply stops wasting it on the wrong people. Most people think toughness is about shutting down emotions, becoming ruthless, or playing the same dirty games as everyone else. But true strength? It's staying good in a world that tries to make you bad. It's being powerful without losing your integrity. She can walk through fire and not turn into ashes. She can be betrayed and not become a betrayer. She can be hurt and still choose to heal, not harm. That's why she's unstoppable. Because no matter how many times life knocks her down, she rises without losing herself. No bitterness, no resentment, just a deeper understanding of who she is and where she's going. So if the world has tried to break you, let this be your reminder. You don't have to change to survive. You just have to become unshakable. Number 8. She makes people think they know her, but they don't. Most people lay their whole lives out for the world to see. They overshare, expose their weaknesses, and give people access they haven't earned. A Sigma female? She never makes that mistake. She knows how to make people think they know her while keeping her true self locked away. It's not deception, it's strategy. She reveals just enough to satisfy curiosity, but never enough for anyone to fully figure her out. People assume they understand her. They think they get her personality, her motivations, her emotions. But what they don't realize is that they only see what she allows them to see. To co-workers, she's professional but distant. To acquaintances, she's warm but mysterious. To friends, she's engaging but private. Even in relationships, she doesn't throw her soul onto the table. Everything about her is earned. Nothing is given freely. And this confuses people. They try to label her, categorize her, put her in a box, but every time they think they have her figured out, she does something unexpected, something that proves they only ever saw the surface. This is why manipulators struggle with her. They can't read her emotions, can't predict her reactions, can't control her the way they do others. She doesn't hand them the tools to use against her. And when someone does earn deeper access, it's because she chose them, not because they demanded it. A Sigma female moves in layers. The outer ones are for the world. The deeper ones, those are reserved for the few who prove they're worthy. If you want to be unstoppable, never give away full access to just anyone. Let them think they know you, but make sure they never truly do. Number 9. She uses pain as rocket fuel. Most people let pain weaken them. They sink into self-pity, dwell on what happened, and wait for time to heal their wounds. A Sigma female, she does the opposite. Pain doesn't break her, it sharpens her, it fuels her. It turns her into something unstoppable. When she faces betrayal, she doesn't sit around wondering why someone hurt her. She studies the lesson, tightens her boundaries, and moves smarter. When she experiences failure, she doesn't let it define her. She dissects it, extracts every ounce of wisdom, and comes back stronger. When life hits her with loss, rejection, or hardship, she doesn't beg for mercy. She absorbs the pain and transforms it into pure power. And this is what makes her terrifying. Because while others crumble under adversity, she becomes even more dangerous. People expect trauma to make her fragile, but instead, it makes her untouchable. Every scar is a reminder of what she overcame. Every hardship is fuel for her next move. She doesn't carry pain like a burden, she wears it like armor. And here's the real secret, she never forgets. Not in a way that holds her back, but in a way that keeps her sharp. She remembers every betrayal, every moment of struggle, and every time someone underestimated her. And then, she uses it. Not for revenge, not to prove a point, but to rise so high that the pain becomes irrelevant. If you want to be truly powerful, stop letting pain control you. Use it. Convert it into your next level, because a Sigma female knows pain is either a prison or rocket fuel, and she always chooses to launch. Number 10. She speaks in actions, not words. Most people love to talk. They talk about their goals, their plans, their worth. They explain themselves, defend themselves, and try to convince the world of who they are. A Sigma female? She doesn't waste her breath. She knows that words are cheap, easily manipulated, and often meaningless. Instead of announcing her every move, she just moves. Instead of proving her worth through long explanations, she lets her results speak for themselves. She doesn't tell people she's strong. She shows it in the way she handles challenges without breaking. She doesn't talk about how independent she is. She just lives her life on her own terms. She doesn't try to convince people to respect her. She carries herself in a way that demands it. And this frustrates people. Because in a world where everyone overshares, she remains a mystery. People push for explanations. They want her to justify her choices, her silence, her decisions, but she doesn't play that game. She knows that the more you explain, the more people think they have power over you. So instead of arguing, she simply proves them wrong through action. When someone doubts her ability to succeed, she wins without ever announcing her strategy. When someone expects her to beg for approval, she walks away without a single word. When someone tries to pull her into drama, she stays silent and lets her indifference be her answer. Because silence is power, and nothing unsettles people more than someone who refuses to explain themselves. If you want to be truly unstoppable, stop talking and start doing. Make moves in silence. Let people wonder. Let your results speak for you. Because at the end of the day, actions will always carry more weight than words. Number 11. She never lets comfort fool her into complacency. Most people get comfortable and stop growing. They land a good job and stop learning. They find a stable relationship and stop evolving. They make just enough money and stop thinking bigger. A Sigma female? She never lets comfort seduce her into weakness. She knows that the moment you relax too much, life will test you. That job you thought was secure, gone. That relationship you thought would last forever, over. That savings account you thought was enough, turns out it wasn't. So even when things are going well, she stays sharp. She keeps learning, even when she doesn't have to. She builds her finances, even when she's financially stable. She strengthens her mind, even when life feels easy. because she knows that easy doesn't last. While others get lazy in comfort, she uses it as a training ground. She studies new skills, she expands her income streams, she stays physically and mentally prepared for whatever life throws at her, because she refuses to be caught off guard. This is what makes her different. She doesn't live in fear, but she also doesn't live in illusions. She doesn't tell herself, this will last forever. She tells herself, I need to be ready for anything. And when life does hit, she doesn't panic, she doesn't break down, she simply adapts. Because she was never relying on things staying the same in the first place. If you want to be truly unstoppable, remember this. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Stay prepared, stay sharp, and never let comfort make you weak. Strength isn't about being loud. It's about being unshakable. If you resonated with these habits, then let me tell you something. You're not just any woman. You're a Sigma female, and that means you're built differently. You don't crumble when life gets hard. You move in silence. You observe before you act. You keep your power in check, not because you're weak, but because you know when and where to unleash it. The world tries to put women like you in a box, tells you to be softer, smaller, easier to handle, but you were never made to fit. You were made to stand out, move smart, and dominate in your own way. That's why you don't just survive in this world. You thrive, because while others wait for someone to save them, you save yourself. While others fear being alone, you find power in solitude. And while others react emotionally, you strategize, adapt, and play the long game. But here's the truth. Being this strong can feel lonely. Most people won't understand you. Some will try to test you. A few will even fear you. Let them. Because being a Sigma female isn't about being liked. It's about being undeniable. So now, the question is, are you ready to fully own this power? If you are, then master these habits. Make them second nature, because once you do, nothing and no one will ever be able to control you again.